Ciao and buongiorno. Thank you for taking a moment to watch this video in replacement of our meeting that we had scheduled this past Sunday night. Because of bad weather, we had to obviously cancel that. So we're just going to pass this information along to you. When you see this on the web page as you're watching it, down below there will be a link, and the link is to this little booklet that we have. It's called What to Know Before You Go, Italy Malta Tour 2014. You can go ahead and print it out. It's in PDF format. But our next meeting, which we will be having come whatever may, will be on March the 19th after our evening service. And we will have these printed out for you in binders for you to take with you. But if you really want to go ahead and get a glimpse and start reading and planning, it's available for you now to take advantage of that. So remember, March 9th, we'll be having our meeting after our evening service here at Fellowship, roughly around 7:15, somewhere in that time frame on March the 9th, Sunday evening, March 9th. Let's go over some things that we need to concern ourselves with as we prepare for our trip. First of all, please mark on your calendar that our bus will be here. If you're going with us to Pittsburgh, some of you are going out of different airports. Some are flying out of Florida, some are flying out of D.C., others are going out of Charlotte. The bulk of you, which I think is about 46, will be traveling with us to Pittsburgh. We have a charter bus prepared so that you can meet and leave your car parked here at the church and ride the charter bus up to Pittsburgh. When you leave your car parked here, please understand you're leaving it under your responsibility. We hold no liability or responsibility for any damage or those concerns. It is in a secure area, but we still waive any responsibility that we have. The main thing is the bus will be here at 6 a.m. and we will be leaving the church parking lot at 6:30. So when you come up, come to our back parking lot, park along the long retaining wall if you're going to leave your car there, even just overnight till a family member can come pick it up, whatever. Leave it along the long retaining wall, and the bus will be in the back parking lot so you can easily move your luggage into the luggage bays of the bus. We're leaving at 6:30, so I would arrive around 6:15 or so, just to give enough time to get the luggage loaded on there. That is on Monday morning, March 24th. We leave at 6:30. Bus will arrive at approximately 6 a.m. You'll have plenty of time to get that together. One other thing, please make sure you eat breakfast in advance. We will not be stopping for breakfast anywhere. We will stop for a pit stop just to use the restroom, to walk around, maybe get a few light snacks. But you need to make certain that you eat breakfast in advance. Pick something up, maybe a drive-through, and eat it on the bus as you're waiting to leave or as you come through. So those are the main things on the bus. Travel insurance, if you haven't gotten that yet, please get it as soon as possible. You can get that still through our travel agency, Pilgrim Tours. Please let us know if you do that so that we can coordinate with Pilgrim Tours. I also encourage you to go to different places as well, like insuremytrip.com. That is on page number 1 of this. It'll give you these websites. Travel Guard is a good place. CSA Travel Protection is another good place. Those websites are listed on under travel insurance. You can usually get to what you need and configure it to what you need at a little bit less of a price. The main thing is you need medical and loss of baggage, those type of things. You need that information to be taken care of. Passports. I think we have copies of everyone's passports. If you still have, I think there's one person that has not gotten their updated one. We need a copy of your updated passport, so please get that to us as soon as possible. It needs to be within 3 months validity before our intended departure, which I think we're all there. Diane has been checking that. We have a copy. The travel agency has a copy of your passport, but I want to encourage you to make 2 copies as well. One to leave back in the United States and one to carry with you. I know you're taking your passport with you, but you should always have an extra copy with you in case you would happen to lose your passport. We're not carrying your copy. We're not going to carry that responsibility because we don't want to lose our file and then all those passport copies be lost. It's your responsibility to carry your one passport with you and carry a copy with you as well. Hopefully no one will lose their passport. We've never had that before in any of our past trips, but we do want to make certain that that is the case. Health certificates are not required, so you don't have to go see the doctor. You don't have to take care of any shots or anything like that. The language that is spoken is Italian. I want to show you one little interesting thing that you can do. It's, if you have an iPhone or you have an Android-based phone, there's a program called Google Translate. And what you can do is you can use this app in your phone. If you find yourself in Italy, most everyone speaks English there, broken English. But if you find yourself you can't communicate with someone, you can take this app and you can press the speak button. Hello, how are you? And then you can, after you've set it into the phone, you can have it translate what you just said.
Ciao, come stai?
I don't know if you could hear that or not. Let me turn it up just a little bit more. One more time.
Ciao, come stai?
Ciao, come stai? You could even say it yourself after you hear it. It's a neat little app to have. It makes it a little bit easier for you if you're fearful of traveling, not being able to communicate. It has all different languages, not only Italian, but on different numbers of languages. So that will help you with that. The main thing a lot of people have been questioning is about currency. The currency in Italy is the euro, and when you go to Italy, you know, they don't normally take U.S. dollars. Those of you who have gone with us to Israel, you go over there and say, I'll give you $1 for something. They'll jump on that because the dollar is stronger than the shekel is in Israel. Unfortunately, the euro is stronger than the dollar, so we don't have much bargaining leverage by saying, well, I'll give you an American dollar. It's better to go ahead and convert your U.S. dollars into euros. And my suggestion is that you do it at Travelex, and that as well is in this little paper form here. You can do it online. You can use your credit card or debit card and order the cash, and they'll FedEx it to your home. You don't have to go to the bank. You don't have to do anything, and you'll get an exact exchange. When you come back after the trip is over with, you can take what you have left, mail it back to them, and they will give you American dollars based on the current value of the euro at that time. It's really efficient. It's an easy way to do it. The exchange fee is comparable to what you're going to do if you go to the bank. And what I've found in my trips, that's exactly what the bank is doing anyhow. They're sending it off. If you go to your local bank, if you go to United, People's, BB&T, any of those, they do not usually keep currency in the bank itself. United may. I know People's and BB&T doesn't. And then the smaller banks like Community and those places, they don't as well. They're sending it off, and then they need a lead time to get it back. It's just better to cut the middleman out and go ahead and do it over the internet. Travelex is a very reputable company. Their exchange rates are very, very reasonable. You'll also find Travelex is located in all the international airports, particularly at our hub in Philadelphia, where we connect there. There's a Travelex office if you have issues. We have maybe a little bit of a layover. If you need to get additional cash, you can do that at Travelex as well. But the website is travelex.com, and you just need to decide how much money you're going to take with you. I never take more than $350 American. Now that's a little bit less in euros, so I may take some more this time. I may take about $450, something like that, because I know I can exchange it later. I also want to use my credit card as well. And there's one thing that you need to be concerned about using your credit card. When you use your credit card, make certain that you have in advance told the credit card company you're traveling. The second question you want to ask your credit card company is, what are the foreign exchange fees? I have a credit card through the United Travelers Club. It's a Visa card through Chase Bank. I pay no foreign transaction fees because it's for people who travel overseas. You might be able to do that as well. I pay an annual fee of about $50 a year for it. Trust me, if you make any large purchases with your credit card, you will exceed $50 in foreign transaction fees. So it's better that you be prepared for that. Visa is the preferred credit card of choice in Europe. MasterCard is available, but Visa is preferred in pretty much everywhere. Discover is very limited. Discover will not charge foreign transaction fees, though. That's part of their package. They will not charge foreign transaction fees. The problem is, though, they're not accepted anywhere. So it's just better to go ahead and go with Visa and see if you can get one that does not charge foreign transaction fees. You may have to pay an upfront fee to do it, but I think, in my opinion, it's worth it in the long run. It's better to pay with credit card for major purchases. That way you have a record of where it was purchased, how much, and if you have issues once you come back to the States, you can deal with it that way. And that way you're not carrying a lot of cash with you. Cash you can use when you're walking through the streets of Florence and you're dealing with a street vendor. It's just a better way to do business. We can talk more about that, or you can email me if you have any questions. The main thing is I would go ahead and begin getting my currency now. If you're going to make a transfer from dollar to euro, it's begin the process now if you're able to. If you're going to go to the bank especially, if you're going to use Travelex, you got a little extra time, 2 to 3 weeks in advance using Travelex, and they'll get it to you in ample time. The other question a lot of people are asking about is voltage. It is 220, and you will need a travel converter. This is one that I picked up at Walmart a number of years ago. It's by Tourister, American Tourister. It is it's a 5-in-1 basically. You can do Middle East, you can do Caribbean, you can do Austria, New Zealand, the Far East. You can do Central America, Great Britain, and Europe. All you have to do is basically just pick which one you want, and let me push the button here, and that will be what you need to have to do conversions. You plug your regular appliance, whatever it is, your razor, your curling iron, you plug it in that, and then plug that into the actual plug there in the wall so that it converts the power. You can get this for 20 bucks. Now here's the thing, some of you are going to go out to Walmart and they're not going to have any because someone else has seen this video and they beat you to it. It's just better to go ahead and go online and order it while you have time. Now if you're watching this video and we're leaving tomorrow, too late, so sorry. You'll have to probably buy one at the airport and pay 50 bucks for it. It's better to do it now, and you can order it from Amazon, you can order it from Walmart.com. You may not be able to get this one exactly. I was looking at it earlier. This all-in-one adapter plug with USB charger, they don't make this model anymore, but American Tourister has another one. It's white, it's similar, same cost, 20 bucks. I would order 2 or 3. If you and your wife are going together, you're going to have your things. Your wife may have some things, your spouse will have things. It's better to have more of these if you have them, and for the money it's worth it. A couple at least to have that to be able to work. So you can order that. All-in-one adapter, and the USB charger does help. We'll talk about cell phones here in just a moment, how important that is that you have that. Medication, please make sure you take all your medications with you. We encourage you that you take the prescription medications with you on the flight across in your carry-on, and they will allow that to go in as long as it's a medical prescription. Should be no issues with that. We also do encourage you as well, if you're on medications that you have to have regularly, take an extra prescription from your doctor. In the event that you would lose your medication, you can use that prescription overseas at one of the local pharmacies and get a refill if necessary. And just explain to your doctor where you're going and why you feel that it's medically necessary that he do that. That's addressed in our booklet as well. Let's talk about the baggage allowance. Due to the size of baggage compartments in touring coaches, each passenger is restricted to 1 suitcase and 1 carry-on bag. Let me show you the carry-on bag first. This is considered a carry-on bag. This is a neat little thing that I got. It rolls. You can pull it behind you. This is considered your carry-on bag. It cannot be any larger than this. It needs to be able to fit into the baggage compartment overhead. And you're looking at approximately 19 long, 13 wide, and the depth can be roughly about 10 inches. So something to that effect. Now, this is not considered, a laptop bag is not considered a carry-on. That's considered a personal item. So if you want to carry your laptop, which I have my laptop bag, this is your carry-on, this is your laptop bag, and then you're able to carry it like that. You may want to perhaps do some work, do some reading, whatever it may be. You're allowed, ladies are allowed to carry a purse. This was the equivalent to a man carrying a purse. It's a laptop bag. So you're allowed these 2 things on the plane with you. So the main thing is making sure this fits, making sure that it's within those size guidelines, and it is in your book exactly what that carry-on size should be. Now the one that you're going to check, this is what most of us will live out of for those days that we are there. It needs to be 62 inches or less linear. Cannot exceed 62 inches. How do you determine that? Well, you first of all will measure, let me put it this way first. You will measure this direction. You'll measure the length, which that's roughly 27. measure this direction, that's roughly 17. So 17 and 27, I should have done this in advance. What is that? That's 44. And then you measure the height, or the depth, excuse me, that's 10. So we're up to 54. Linear of 54. This will pass. It's no problem. Now let me give you a couple of helpful hints, things that I've learned the hard way. First of all, if you have Louis Vuitton bags, you are wasting your good money on that. Here's the reason why. These bags will be beat up and banged up when you get them back. TSA will do their thing when they leave the States. When you get overseas, when they exchange it in Germany to get it to Venice, trust me, if you have expensive bags, it's just not a good thing. This is one I bought at Ollie's for 20 bucks. If something happens to it, if it gets ripped, I'm not going to cry over it. I'm not going to worry about it. Second thing is, if you're in an expensive bag, if you're using an expensive bag, that's going to alert anyone who's a thief to say there must be something pretty valuable in there. It's kind of better to maybe do a Trojan horse type thing and make them think that there's nothing of value in there by having some cheaper looking luggage. 20 bucks at Ollie's, it's not a big deal. It's your choice, but we learned the hard way. My wife and I, when we first went to Israel, learned the hard way. We went out and spent a bunch of money on luggage, and it ended up coming back looking like it was just ripped to shreds. And also, if you lose the luggage as well, which that's a possibility, you're not out of luck in that expense. So take advantage of that. Use your own discretion with that. Please make note of it. 62 linear inches at the most, at the maximum. And now you know how to do it. This way, and this way. Has to be under 62 linear inches. All right, so that is dealing with the baggage. And I'm sure there may be other questions. You can call the office if you need to know more information about that. Time zone, we're 6 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. So you might want to tell everyone that when you're in Italy that you're 6 hours ahead. The question that comes up about weather. Summer, June to August temperatures, it's hot in Venice. 104 degrees Fahrenheit is an extreme high. We're going to be there in early spring, so typically the coldest is around 48 degrees Fahrenheit, but the high ranges anywhere from 54 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And since we're going in the latter end of March, we'll probably be 60 to 70s. In the temperature. There is a lot of rain in Venice. It may rain in the morning, but then the afternoon will be absolutely beautiful. It's just that type of climate in that regard. So be prepared for spring-like temperatures. The same is true in Florence. The same is true in Italy. I think we're probably going to see anywhere from lows in the mornings of 50s and highs around 70, 75. Malta will be obviously warmer because we're in the Mediterranean climate, and that'll make a little bit of difference in that regard. Now, I know some of you are concerned about when you go to Venice having to get your luggage to the hotel. We will fly into the Venice airport, and it's at Venice Mestre. That's the land portion of Venice. That's the part that is not on the island where we will be staying and where the river canals are. So we will land there. We'll take a bus to the port there at Venice proper, and then we will take a water taxi to Venice. And it's my understanding, we're confirming this, we will walk just a few meters away to our hotel. It won't be a long walk. And our luggage will be on a portage gondola. They'll carry our luggage to the hotel for us, so we won't have to be dragging all that behind us. The only thing we may have to take is our carry-ons if we want to carry those. We're confirming that we do have a portage gondola taking all of our luggage to the hotel. We'll be arriving in the afternoon to the hotel, so it'll be a beautiful time to just begin seeing Venice and enjoy that. But I do want to remind you, if you get seasick, it is probably wise that you begin taking Dramamine as soon as you arrive into Venice, because you will have to ride in some choppy waters to get to the Venice proper, getting to that island. So make note of that. Make sure you have some Dramamine while you are there in Venice. Pre-flight things, make certain that you have a family member or friend that has a copy of your passport. We mentioned that. Make sure they have a copy of your flight itinerary, all the hotel names, all the phone numbers for the hotels. That is all listed in this as well. It gives you websites where you can go look at the hotels and actually see what hotels you're staying at. Just normal things that you need to make note of. Our flight from Pittsburgh will leave at 12:50 p.m. We have to be there based on the TSA requirements by 9:50. That's why we're leaving at 6:30 to give us enough time to be able to get there. Here is something very important on our not the last trip, but the trip before that. The airline changed our flight information 2 days before, and we weren't notified. The travel agency wasn't notified, but some of you were notified, and no one told us, and we ended up missing that flight. Please help us out. If United Airlines calls you with any change at all concerning your flights, please call us immediately so we can confirm that it's either just for you or it's for the entire group. Most likely it's for the entire group, and they've decided just to call you as opposed to the tour leader. Please, please, please let us know so we can avoid any issues with that. Any changes you get in your itinerary, please let us know well enough in advance. Let's talk about your room assignments. Those are already made. If you'd like to know if you are, obviously if you're husband and wife, you're going to be rooming together, and but perhaps you've come as a single and you've requested that you be with your friend. You might just want to confirm that with Diane. If you're a single supplement, please confirm that with Diane as well. You can call the office for that. All the tips that you have for the meals and at the hotel, for the wait staff, for the portage staff, that's all taken care of. You do not need to tip at the hotel restaurants. Do not need to tip the the porters at the hotels. All of that is taken care of. However, if you go out and eat at a restaurant for lunch, or let's say you go out and get a cup of coffee just to enjoy an Italian cafe, you will have to tip those waiters. That's not included, obviously. But all the tips are included for everything that is on the itinerary with every meal that's already provided. We provide for you breakfast and we provide for you dinner. Lunch is on your own. Now let me give you a little helpful hint when it comes to how to handle lunch. Usually the breakfasts there are pretty filling. It's continental, it's European style. You can fill up for the day with that. But they also usually have fresh fruit. I always encourage you to maybe take an extra apple or orange with you and eat that at lunch and save yourself a little bit of money. The other thing that you can do is bring snacks from the States. Bring a Snickers, go to Walmart and buy a big box of Snickers bars. Bring them with you. It saves you a tremendous amount of money. A Snickers bar in America may cost $1. Over there it'll cost you $3. It's just better to go ahead and buy it, put it in your carry-on, and have it with you, save yourself that money. You can't take any liquids with you, so you can't buy pop and those type of things, but you can save some with that. We will stop at certain places, and it's your option to eat lunch. There are some places that just have absolutely delicious food that you won't want to miss out on, and it's usually reasonably priced. You're looking at about $8 to $10 per person, usually in the American dollar, $8 to $10 for a meal, and that's drinking usually iced tea or water. Just depends on what restaurant. The highest that I ever paid for a meal was maybe $15 per person. So those are things to think about, so you have that extra cash. Most of the places will take your credit card as well, so it won't be an issue for you to have to take the cash out. You can allot and be protected for that in the future. Now, one thing that we do want to remind you at all of our meals, this is a Christian pilgrimage and tour. And when you go to these restaurants, and even at the hotel restaurant, you will be offered alcohol. We ask that you refrain from that based on the fact this is a Christian tour and this is a pilgrimage, and most of our folks are probably folks that do not drink. We don't want to be an offense to anyone. We don't want to cause an awkward moment. So when we're together and we're having our meals, if you would refrain from use of alcohol, we'd appreciate that out of respect for those that you are with. Some of you have asked about phones, calling cards, and Wi-Fi. First of all, let me address Wi-Fi. Most of the hotels have Wi-Fi. Most of them you end up having to pay for it. Usually it's pretty good. It's not always great, but it's pretty good. Usually the best Wi-Fi is in Rome, and in Rome I believe it's free at that hotel, so you don't have to pay for it. So if you can kind of use a little self-control and not have to be on the web all the time, you can save some money. Usually it's about $4 for 24 hours use of Wi-Fi while you're at the hotel if you have to pay. One thing that I'm going to do differently is I'm going to take my laptop and use it where I have free Wi-Fi, but instead of calling my phone carrier, which is Verizon, and saying I'm going overseas and I want to use my phone overseas, I'm going to go with TravelCell, which there's information in here for a packet of that, where that you can change out your SIM card in the back of your phone, and you can use the European network, and you can still have data. TravelCell will offer you unlimited data and unlimited texting via their SIM card, and it's real easy to do. You can go Google and find some YouTube videos on how to remove a SIM card in the back of your iPhone. I believe they will rent the SIM card to you for $6 a day. But here's the key with the SIM card. If you have an iPhone, that SIM card gives you unlimited data. On this, you can use Google Phone and call and save, rather than paying a per minute rate. Google Phone won't charge you anything for using their Google Phone system. Also, if you Skype, you can use the unlimited data for this to Skype with people overseas. It saves a lot of money, and the most you have in it is $6 a day. If you don't have a smartphone like this, you can rent a phone, and you can rent just a normal flip phone for $1.99 a day. They will also set it up where a person can call an 800 number in the United States, and that will ring your phone where you are in Italy. And I think the rate is, I want to say, like 25 cents a minute, something to that effect. It's all on the paperwork there. TravelCell is going to offer us a promo, a reduced rate. When you call them or you send the form in and you say, my promo name is FBC Vienna. This is the form that's in there, and I can tell you exactly. Italy rates, incoming calls are free. That's why you want them to call the 800 number. You're not charged anything for that. Outgoing calls to the USA is 99 cents a minute. I told you wrong. I think it's 30 cents when they call the 800 number. They can explain all that to you if you'll call TravelCell and work with that. If you have a BlackBerry, I think you can also rent a SIM card for a BlackBerry as well. Any of those are available. Call TravelCell. These are the most reasonable people to deal with. We've dealt with numbers of companies. TravelCell is probably one of the best and easiest to work with in making certain that you have accessibility for contact. I do believe those are the only things that we have left. Take a moment to pull this information. It's down below. Print it out, keep it, and review it. Start dealing with some of those things. These are the notes that Diane gave me. The main thing is make certain that you're part of the meeting on March the 9th. We will go over this again. We'll answer any of those questions. If you have any immediate questions you want to ask me, email them to pastor@fellowshipchurch.net, pastor, P-A-S-T-O-R, @fellowshipchurch, one word, fellowshipchurch, one word, .net. We'll answer those questions, and we'll take care of it. Looking forward to going. We're going to have a great time. Main things, be here 6 a.m., 6:15 on the 24th. The bus is leaving at 6:30. If you're on the bus from that point forward, it should be easy. We'll get you where you need to go and have a great time. Buongiorno. Have a good day.